Welcome back. This is the second lesson recording for IM1, March 2nd, 2021. So from the decimals activity, what we did is we figured out the part from the percentages that we were given. So there are two different ways to solve this. What is 35% of 64%? Well, we can use our mental math. That what we did. We can figure out 1% by dividing 64 by 100. That means we can move the decimal place to the left by 2 places. So 1% is going to be 0.64. Then we're asking what is 35%? That means that's 35 lots of 0.34. So it's going to be 35 times 0.64. I am going to use parentheses so that I do not get those two things mixed up. I'm multiplying those two. Another way to think about it is converting this sentence. What translates to question mark or X is just equals sign. 35%, we need to convert percentage into decimal. Remember, converting percentage to decimal, you need to move 2 places to the left. So that's going to be 0.35. So 0.35 is equivalent to 35%. Of, when you see of, that is same as multiplication of 64 ounce. Okay, so then you are asked, what is 0.35 times 64? You use your calculator and do that, and that's going to be 0.64 times 35 is going to be 22.4. And that is actually the same answer that you would get. Another way to solve this is considering that what is percentage? Percentage is always part of something over whole. So part of something is what we are being asked. So we don't know what that part is, but we know that the whole is going to be 64 ounce. And we know we're given the percentage is 35%, but we do need to convert that to 0.35. Whenever you're doing calculations, you want to convert that into decimal. So again, how do I figure out what this question mark is? Well, solving algebraically, x divided by, if I change this to x divided by 64, and that's just the unit. 64 is going to be equal to 35, 0.35. How do I get rid of this divide by 64? I multiply both sides by 64. So in this case, x, the question mark is 64 multiplied by 0.35, which is exactly what we did in all the other ways. So that's going to be 22.4. Next up, we are going to be looking at figuring out percentage from when you are given parts. So what are we given? We're looking for percentage. So what is the percent? So the percent is what we are looking for. Is 4 ounce out of 64 ounce would look like this. So we are looking for what is the decimal or what is the percentage representation of 4 over 64. If I use the calculator and do 4 divided by 64, I get 0.0625. Now this is in decimal. Now we want to convert that to percentage. How do I do that? Converting from decimal to percentage, you move the decimal place 2 places to the right. Now that is going to be 6.25%. So 4 ounce out of the 64 ounce total is going to be 6.25%. And this is same as percentage is always going to be part over whole. Okay, part of something over the whole part. So this is the equation for what percentage means. And again, when you do this calculation, you're going to get the decimal value. You always need to convert decimal into percentage. We're going to work on just that. So card number 8 to 11 of decimals. Here we are converting percent to decimal. So okay, so if you have 85%, how do I convert that to decimal? Okay, so decimal 0.75 is to go from decimal to percent. You multiply by 100, or you can move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So right now the decimal place is over here, so you're going to move that 1, 2, so decimal place is right there, so that's why it becomes 75%. To go from 0.8 to decimal to percentage, you're going to move that 2 places to the right. There is no number there, so this is my new decimal place. If there is no number, you do fill it in with a 0, so that's 80%. Now going the other direction, to go from 6% to decimal, you're going to move the decimal place this time to the left by 2 places. So, and this is my new decimal place, and whenever there is a space without a number, you're putting in 0, so it's 0.06 is the decimal representation of 6%. So likewise, you can look at convert percent to decimal by, currently the decimal place is right here. To decimal, I need to move it to the left by 100, or to the left by 2 places, so that becomes 0.85. And again, move 2 places to the left, and so that's going to be 0.6. Again, the decimal place is here right now. Then move 2 to the left, it's going to be right here, and you need to fill it in with a missing 0 if there is no number, so it's going to be 0.03. And similarly, this is going to be moving it to 1, 2. This is my new decimal place point, so that's, I'm going to fill in with a missing 0. It's going to be 0.0725. Okay, currently the decimal place is here. Moving 2 places to the left, the conversion is 1.35. Notice that 1.135% is same as 1.35, and so 107% is same as 1.07. This time we're going to convert decimal to percent. So to go from decimal to percent, you are multiplying by 100 or moving decimal place 2 places to the left, right. So you're moving it 1, 2, so this is my new decimal place, so that's going to be 75%. So likewise, I am going to move the decimal place 2 to the right, so that's going to be 95%. 2 to the right, and fill in with any zeros if there is a missing space, so that's going to be 20%. This is going to be 9%, and so on. What's 1.09? That's going to be 109%, because we are again moving the decimal place to the right. So 1.09 means it's greater than 100%, and 1.25 means it's 125%, again bigger than 100%. Okay, now to calculate 39% of 53, the question mark should be, now whenever you're using percentage in your calculations, that you always need to convert 39% percentage into decimal. So we need to convert percent to decimal. How do I do that? The decimal place is right there currently. Oops. So we're going to move that to the left by 1, 2. So we want this question mark to be 0.39 multiplied by 53. We're asked to calculate 110% of 90. Okay, so 110% is going to be 100, greater than 100 is going to be greater than 1, or we can convert this, the decimal place is right here, right now, but then you will move 2 places to the left and you end up with 1.10. So this is going to be 1.10 multiplied by 90. So now let's look at application of percentage increase. So hooray, Katya is getting an 8% salary increase. Her current salary is $100,000. How much is her salary increase? So to figure out the increase, we can figure out what is 8% of 100,000. So we are multiplying 8%. 8% is 0.08. That's 8%. Multiplied by 100,000. So we're multiplying these two numbers. Okay, and what do you get when you do that? So this is like same as finding 1%. What is 1%? That means you're moving this decimal place 2 to the left, so it's going to be 1,000. 1% is 1,000, so 8% is going to be 1,000 times 8. That is going to be $8,000. Because that's $1,000 times 8 is going to be $8,000. So Katya is going to get an increase of $8,000. What is a new salary? The new salary is not $8,000, but it is what was before, which is $100,000 plus the increase, which is $8,000. Okay, so that is going to be $108,000. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Okay. The final question is, what percentage is her new salary from the current salary? The new salary is 1,008. Whoops. New salary is 1,008. Her new salary is $108,000. Her old salary was 1,000. So put it as a fraction. All the zeros cancels out. It's 1.108 divided by 100. That is 1.08 in decimal, which is same as moving the decimal place 2 to the right. 108%. So that's the percentage. Okay, and then one more year it's at the end of 2021, and Katya is getting another 8% increase. So how much is the increase? So previously at the end of the year, she is earning $108,000. We need to figure out another 8%. Okay, so what is the 8% of this? To figure that out, you're going to multiply by 0.8. So the new increase is $8,640. What is the new salary now? It is going to be $108,000 plus $8,640, which is $116,640. So then finally, what percentage is her new salary from current salary? That will be 116,640 divided by 108,000, which is 1.08, which is 100.